is clarity, being very clear about where you're starting from and where you're trying to go. How important is that to somebody's diet and or physical fitness routine?
As far as clarity, knowing your diet and fitness is very important because you have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah, but a lot of times, you know, if you don't have an end, or even if you don't have a middle, you're just going to the gym, eating whatever, and then the results are going to be whatever also. So you want to see the results that you have. But if you have a certain goal, specifically you want to lose 20 pounds and you want to look a certain way, that's when the clarity of a vision of knowing what to put in your body, what to eat, what times you should eat, how much calories you should be eating versus your macros and your micros, like all those little things come into effect when you have a clarity of what you want your body to look like and how healthy you want to be. So that's a big determinant. If you don't have a certain goal as far as health wise, all you want to do is just lose weight, then you can definitely do that on your own. Just go run, but you might not look the way you want to look like until you put the specific steps in order. That's when you have a clarity of what you need and how you're gonna accomplish that goal.
So what happens to your fitness routine when it lacks clarity?
As far as the lack of clarity, what happens is you're going to have a lack of accomplishment. So basically, I mean, you think you might say, oh, I'll go to the gym every day and I've been going for a month. I don't see no results. And I'd be like, because you have no clarity. You're just going to the gym. I mean, like, what are you doing when you go to the gym? Well, I go to the gym and I spend about 30 minutes on the treadmill. Then what? Then I'll take a break, talk to some people, and just go on to the exercise, do a set, take about a minute-long break. I'm on my cell phone. That's why you're not having no results, because there's no clarity there. You're going to the gym. You think you're going to the gym to where to be able to lose weight, but you're really going there wasting your time because you don't have the specific steps that you're following. If you have the specific steps that you're following, where there's a clarity, like I'm going to do this, 30 seconds between each set, that's clarity. Not say I'm going to the gym, get on the treadmill for 30 minutes, then do some weights, and then you're really yourself on the whole time, wasting time. There's no clarity there.
What I'm hearing is if I have clarity, so say I have a picture of a body type that I want.
Mentally, yes.
Or even physically. I can go into a magazine and cut out whatever the beach body is that I want.
Right.
What I'm hearing is if I'm clear as to say, this is what I want to look like, I can take this to a personal trainer who will know diagnostically what to do to accomplish that.
Right.
Now,
Close to.
Now the real work becomes the person having to do it. Because I can write a plan all day. That's easy.
Right.
The hard part is getting up at 5, dedicating yourself, sticking to the plan, and following the process.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, you might have a picture of what you want, but are you disciplined enough to do what it takes to get to that, to become that picture that you have mentally in your mind, or physically, like you said? Are you disciplined enough to get up, like you say, at 5 o'clock in the morning? Are you disciplined enough to eat the right foods? Are you disciplined enough to plan your food throughout the week to where you won't rush yourself to McDonald's to have you have your food in a little cubby that you take with you every day? There's a level of discipline when you want a level of a goddess body, like I would say. If you want a body, like you want the pack, you want the chills, there's a level of discipline to get to do that. But if you don't have discipline, do not say, I want to look like this, Harold. Can you make me look like this? I'll tell you no, because you don't have the discipline. So there's no need to even try to get there, because even though you shot your goal so far, but you're not willing to put in the work. So I'm not God. I can't just tell you, you look like that in 6 weeks, because I would be lying to you. And you don't want a personal trainer that's going to lie to you. I say I can help you attain that goal, but are you willing to be disciplined to reach that goal?
What's the difference in commitment level between being an athlete and competing for your team and being a father to be in shape for your kids?
The difference is, the difference I see is when you was an athlete, you had the team camaraderie as an athlete. Like, perfect example. Me and you, we both played safety. We was on the same page. When things was switch, I would come down and like, okay, I know AB got my back, or vice versa.
Right.
But now, the biggest difference is, if things switch, nobody has my back. I'm the main leader for my family and my business. So it's like, you have to put yourself in that mental mind to be like, it's all on me. If I don't get it done, nothing else will get done. And that's the reason you push yourself so hard in the gym, because, you know, you got 4 or 5 people behind me, which is my family, that I need to take care of. Like, when we play football, like, oh, shoot, you don't want to miss the tackle, but if I don't, I'm expecting my 10 other guys to come help me out. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But it, like, now it's like, if I miss this, oh damn, I just let 4 or 5 people down. And that's the biggest difference I see when it comes to athletics and taking care of your family.
So it sounds like the battlefield or the arena, it seems like the arena of life requires more commitment than the arena of sports does. It's almost as if sports was almost like the training wheels to teach you can get up, you can train, you can suffer, because when you got to do it for your own, and you got kids, and you have a family, and you have a wife, and you have a husband, you have people who depend on you. Missing a rep and missing a practice, you can't do that because lives, right? So much is at stake. Like you said, you're the breadwinner. So when we're talking about working out and clarity, right? Because the mind and the body, as we're learning more about like CTE and all the other cognitive issues that happen.
Right.
From a personal trainer standpoint, there are people that say, I don't want to have a six-pack. I don't want to look like the person on the magazine. I don't care about any of that. I just want to be alive.
Yes.
From a personal trainer standpoint, can you explain some of the benefits of working out and how that relates to your mental clarity? What is the relationship between physical exertion and mental acuity? How are those two things? Because a lot of times people say, hey, you know, he's a big athlete, so he must be dumb, because you equate muscles with stupidity, when we know science is showing us it's actually the opposite.
Number one, first, I would definitely recommend to stop focusing on the physical part, because if you're feeling that way, it's something going on internally. And my thing is always for somebody to know their numbers. When I say about knowing your numbers, I'm talking about as far as your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your heart rate. Knowing those numbers by going to the doctor every time to know what's going on the inside versus how you look physically. Because there's plenty of people that look out of shape, but internally they are healthy. Even though they might not look the perfect body, but they're taking care of themselves internally as far as eating the right foods. They might just be walking instead of running like you would normally do. But what they're doing is enough to take care of them internally. And that's where they need to focus on more than anything. So if your clarity as far as taking care of your body is more focused internally to where your organs are functioning right, if your organs are functioning right, then everything that internally will definitely recruit to the mind to where your mind can function properly too. So once you're internally focused right and your mind is focused, then your body will come. And that's the biggest thing people don't realize. They think it's all physical. No, the reason that you're hurting, the reason that you feel like you don't want to do anything because there's something going on mentally in your head, or you could be suffering some kind of, I don't want to say, you know, some cancer type thing going on in your body that you don't know about. And if you don't know, then it's like you don't know your numbers. And you want people to know their numbers as a clientele. Well, I mean, not as a clientele, but as an ex-athlete versus, you know, somebody that's in shape. You're like, damn, I was ex-athlete. How is this person able to do what they're doing? Because they're taking care of their body internally, mentally, and they're not worried about the physical part. And that's what us as athletes everything was always physical. I don't care what sport you played, everything was physical. I know they say when it comes to sports, it's 90% mental, 10% physical, but you still have to put in the work, the physical work, to be that mental, to have that mental, can't think of the word, mental clarity for you to handle, take care of physically. I know you play at the NFL level, and everybody's fast at that level. So that's what it comes down to, how smart you are and knowing the playbook and knowing where position you got to be. But in life, everybody's going 100% for what they need, but not everybody's taking care of themselves internally, though.
Right, and that's part of what is trying to bring to light is, I think we so hyper-focus on certain components where we don't see the big picture of it all. When you think of, hell, just even getting to a point to play collegiate football, how many things did you sacrifice in high school? How many things could you just not go to? I can't go to the bar. I can't hang out. I can't do it because I've got to get up and train. This is a commitment I have. But because I made the commitment back then, I can reap my benefits today.
Right.
I think a lot of times we think once we leave that arena, the rules change. As opposed to when you leave that arena, you actually are leaving with more information than the average person would have. So when we're talking about priorities, which would be, in your opinion, most important? The physical commitment or the mental clarity?
Oh, definitely.
Go ahead.
Definitely the mental clarity. Without it, I mean, the reason I say mental clarity, if you don't know what you want or where you're going, what makes you think you're gonna reach your goal? So it's like, physically, you could be like, oh, I want to look like, I want to be fit. But mentally, you don't know how to get there. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I say the mental clarity is definitely above the physical clarity. And at the same time, let's put it into this perspective. You can go to the gym and be like, okay, I have mental clarity of what I want to look like. Okay? This is just to show you the difference between somebody that's mentally focused versus physical focus. You go to the gym, you're mentally focused, you have a trainer, this is what I want to look like. The trainer shows me the right way to do it. Physically, you see somebody that's already look like the way you want to look like. So, as an individual, you walk up to the person, you ask the person, blase, how did you get there? They tell you all the wrong ways to get there, and that's how they're there. Fast forward a year later, you see him again. The person looks totally different, and you are where they used to be at, and you ask the question, what happened? Well, what I was doing wasn't the right way. This is why I look like now. But you had the mental clarity of doing it the right way, and that's why you are where you are now. And that's just so the difference in somebody's mental clarity, somebody that, I just want to look physically strong or physically fit. I don't care how I get there. Even if I have to take the wrong steroids, I got to do this, I got to do all the wrong bad stuff. If I got to do that to get there, I want to get there. But a year later, you see the transition like, oh, I would rather do it right the first time versus doing the bad the first time. And then it deters my body versus building me up.
Right, and that's exactly what we want to get to. It's a lifestyle. Like Joccupation is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle brand. It's an approach. It's a mindset to your life. And because it took us decades
right.
to get to college. Like, and I don't ever necessarily think about it. I graduated high school at 17, but started playing football at 9. That's 16 years of labor.
Yeah, yeah.
To get a shot to go do it somewhere else. But we were doing sports with academics, with social life, with the family life. So we were making a million decisions, not knowing we were doing it.
Right, right.
This is what we're trying to do, is take it from the subconscious and bring it forth to the conscious. Because once you know how this magic trick is done, then you take control of the levers and you grab those paintbrushes and start painting your own picture.
Mm-hmm. And that's
what we're trying to get to.
And that's the thing. Like you said, the first 18 years of our lives, we were doing so many things, but at the same time, what you don't realize, by you doing so many things, you always had somebody telling you what to do. Once you get to college, you still have somebody tell you, but not really. Because you still have to, this is when you start to grow up to be like, okay, I have to go to class because nobody's going to force you to class. And the only reason I'm going to class is so I won't fail, so I can still play my sport. They're still telling you what to do, but then as you get more about your sport, you get to the professional level, now they're not telling you what to do at all. Now they expect you as a professional to be like, take care of your body, do what you need to do to get better. And all the other stuff that's outside of the arena of sport, as far as family, that is not our business. You're a man now, do it yourself. So, I mean, it goes to exactly what you were saying about, from 9 to 17, like, everything was taken care of, but now it's like, I'm a professional. People expect you to take care of yourself. You had the time. You had the training wheels. Now it's time to take the training wheels off. And, you're here for a reason. What's your reason?
What are some clarifying questions people can ask themselves? Nobody has to be around, but you're just asking it to yourself, just as your own progress report, to bring clarity. What are some questions? That sometimes I don't think people know how to ask the right questions.
Definitely want to. Which we already hit this in the last episode. You definitely have to figure out why you want to work out, why you want to be better health. But as far as right now, like, what's the best question to ask yourself as far as clarity is, like, when it comes to diet and fitness, I'm going to the gym. I know why I'm going to the gym, but do I need to go to the gym and waste my time? Is there a sense of value of me going to the gym for my why? Is there a clear picture in my mind of what I want versus what I don't want? Because you already know what you do not want. You don't want to be out of shape. You don't want to have bad numbers when it comes to your cholesterol and your blood pressure. You already know what you don't want. So now it's about focusing on what you do want. And once you get that clear picture of what you do want, as far as asking yourself, like you say, you sit around at night and you just ask yourself, what do I want for me? What do I want for my body? What do I want? And how clear of a picture do you want it? Do you want it? I kind of want it, but not really. Then that would determine more of your clarity. But if you're like, I'm disciplined, and this is what I want. When it comes to my diet and fitness, this is what I want. And who's going to help me stay focused on that? If I can't do it for myself, that is when, it comes to the part, okay, get your personal trainer, because that person will keep you accountable to what you want. Once you tell the trainer, this is what I want, this is what I want to focus on, and that personal trainer should keep you mentally focused and clear on your path of reaching your goals.